welcome to The Zest, the official podcast for Orange Coast Magazine. I'm Chelsea Ranieri, and today we have a true Orange County icon as our guest. He is the creator of Julius the Monkey, and his designs have been in movies, TV shows, and magazines. Thank you so much for being here today, Paul Frank.
Thanks, Chelsea. I appreciate it.
Of course. You actually talked at a class that I was in at Orange Coast College in the summer of 2011, which I'm dating myself a bit, but I still remember how everyone in the class was so captivated by hearing your story. And I've been so excited to get to talk with you.
Well, thanks. I'm excited to talk to you too.
Great. So you grew up in Huntington Beach in the 70s. I actually grew up in Huntington in the 90s, 2000s, which was like prime Paul Frank time. But I'm so curious to know, what was your experience like growing up there?
Oh, it was great. My mom moved us from Pico Rivera to a brand new house. Our house was like the first in this brand new housing tract. So the sidewalks are really, there's no bumps in the sidewalks yet, no cracks. So you can just ride on your skateboard all day long and or your big wheel and skid out. And it was great, you know, always sunny. My mom took us to the beach all the time. We got to go to like Jack's surf shop and get our surf t-shirts. It said Mr. Zog's sex wax and wear them in seventh grade, thinking we were so cool and getting away with something. It was great. I'm really lucky to grow up there.
What did your parents do?
My dad drove a delivery truck for different companies that would deliver like to Subway or to Togo's. And then my mom worked at the Parks and Park Tree Landscape Department in Huntington Beach.
How cool. Did she work on the Central Park in Huntington?
Yeah, her office is right next to basically.
Oh, it's so nice.
Right on that same street, you know, the city yard and all that kind of fun stuff. So we always got, like, when they threw out the old, like, mid-century furniture, she got me all these cool orange sofas and stuff from the 60s.
Huh. That library is so cool.
Yeah. Oh, I used to hang out at the library all the time. Such a cool place, isn't it?
Yeah. Is that where she got the furniture from, or was it?
No, well, she got it from all the offices would just have to get rid of their old furniture. Oh. So it might have been from the library, but it was probably bought at the same time. So yeah, it's from those days.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
I read that you played guitar when you were 14 and that you were also in a band in high school. What was the band called and what type of music did you guys play?
Our first band was called the Blue Tiki, and we had a little Easter Island moai as our logo. Mm-hmm. And we all, you know, it was the 80s, so we were into like rockabilly and surf music. You know, even though New Romantic was popular and like hair metal and heavy metal, we liked like the Stray Cats and B-52s and wanted to be of a different era. So like we were looking back 20, 30 years already in the 80s.
Wow. Do you miss it, being in a band?
Yeah, I do miss it. I still play at home though. I still have a whole community of friends on Instagram, and we just talk about guitars all day. Like it's like ladies in a knitting circle, you know. But we're like these old guys talking about like guitars and how we're gonna make our next guitar.
That's so cool. Do you play any other instruments?
No, just the guitar. I wish I could play piano. That would be really fun.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I learned that you created the designs for the flyers. Were you into art from a really young age as well?
Yeah, that's how we got into art, I think, was, you know, at the time I didn't realize you could play guitar and be an artist. I thought you had to pick one thing in life, you know?
Yeah.
And then we discovered we would go to the library and get old magazines and photocopy them. And that's how I started to learn how to draw, was by getting Hanna-Barbera, like Huckleberry Hound. I would sit there in the library. You know, and it's very peaceful there with the waterfalls and stuff.
It's so nice.
Yeah. And they have this book of clip art. You know, clip art is like this artwork you could Xerox and use, and it's royalty free.
Wow.
And like, so they have these vintage like graphics of old Super 8 movie cameras and cars. And so some of our first imagery was using these old, you know, vintage clip art.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So that kind of like was the impetus for your love for art?
Yeah. And I was a commercial art student at Ocean View High School. So
no way.
I took graphic arts like for almost, I think, 3 years. and a yearbook. I used to develop all the photos for the yearbook and help with the layout. And we learned how to screen print. And that was really what excited me, was screen printing, because I thought, ooh, I can make band T-shirts.
Yeah. Wait, the screen printing you learned at school?
Yeah.
What?
Then that was my first job. And then years later, when we started the business, I screen printed the first samples in my garage.
Dang, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I also, to go back a bit, I read that you loved thrift shopping as well. What drew you to vintage clothes?
I think what my mom liked to go to thrift stores, and we used to go to the Golden West College swap meet like every Saturday.
Yeah.
And then get a hamburger after. But just my mom and I would just like look at all this old stuff and go to the thrift store. And then when we got into music, I was collecting old records, and I was like looking at how the Beach Boys dressed with their Pendleton shirts and their matching white Levi's. And I'm like, I want to look cool too, So that started a whole thing of like one-upsmanship too with my friends, where you had to get, oh, look at this sweater. Don't you wish you had this sweater? I got up early on Wednesday when all the stuff would be at Savers.
Oh, nice.
Remember Savers?
Yeah. They actually have one in Huntington still on Magnolia.
Yeah. I love that place.
Yeah. Do you have any other favorite thrift stores from Orange County or Huntington?
Yeah. Meow in Long Beach.
Oh, yeah. Oh, very cool.
Oh, my goodness. Kathleen, she goes to like old basements in other states and finds old sneakers that nobody ever wore, or old socks or glasses. And she does a lot of stuff with movie production where she'll rent out, if you're making a vintage style movie, she'll be like a person you can go to and get brand new sunglasses and anything you could think of. So you got to check her store out. It's amazing. It's like a museum, but it's like new old stock.
That's great. I wonder how she finds that. That's insane.
You ever see the show American Pickers?
No.
Oh my goodness. They basically drive to another state, go to this old town where all the businesses are kind of shut down, and they've got stuff in the attic or the basement, and like old like pencil toppers or old, like a rack of combs, just like all these old stuff that people forgot about in the basement and that people like us still want.
Yeah, right. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's like upcycling.
I actually went to, I forget what Long Beach store it was, but it was on 4th Street. And they have like this giant pile of clothes every, I think, Saturday, but it's like a mountain of vintage clothes that you can just dig through. Yeah. So fun.
That's fun, huh? They have that in Hollywood too at Jet Rag. Oh, no. They have that every Sunday.
Yeah. That's so cool. So you ended up asking your mom for a sewing machine for Christmas one year. Where did that interest come from?
Because everybody started to want to get the thrift store clothes. It was getting harder to find good stuff.
Oh, no way.
And so I'm like, well, maybe I could start to alter my clothes or, sew patches on or something. And I wanted to sew stripes on my sneakers, my Converse Jack Purcells. So I went and got this orange vinyl from the boat repair shop, because I always saw those speed boats, with like orange seats or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, where would I get that material? I know, the boat repair guy. And he looked at me like I was crazy, but I realized I couldn't fit the shoe into the sewing machine. I learned later that they sew that part before they put the rubber on. Oh. So I'm like, what can I do with this vinyl? So I remembered I always liked collecting souvenir wallets. So I started making my own wallets like this one.
Is that the first one?
No, this is a recent one, but.
Oh my God, it's so cool. God, that takes me back.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And I thought, I just want to make one for me or my friends, but then everybody started wanting them, these little toy wallets. And at the time we would go to Sanrio and buy Karopi wallets, and my friends went to Sesame Street store and Warner Brothers store. So it was sort of like a time of like, we're not going to grow up too soon, like prolonged adolescence. We're going to go see bands play and go to the library. We used to play at the library,
the Central Park Library?
Yeah, it was so much fun. Yeah.
That's so cool. I wonder if they still do
I
that.
don't know. It doesn't seem like kids have a place to play anymore. It doesn't seem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what was the wallets like? What was your first wallet? What did it look like?
My first wallet was, I used to put like little pictures in the, like I had silver vinyl and I put a spaceman through a window. I got clear plastic and put a little
That was your
spaceman.
first one?
Well, the first one was just a plain one, but then I started, experimenting with little pictures inside, like camping old magazines, where there would be like a picture of a dad unloading a mini bike off of a camper, and I'm like, that's weird. It's just different. Why would you have that on a wallet? But it made it cool. Or like,
Yeah.
got a $6 million man lunchbox sticker from Meow.
Uh-huh.
It was not stuck. It was just unstuck, right? So I Xeroxed it and I started Xeroxing artwork, or we would, like our friend Eric Stefani from No Doubt, he helped us make a logo for our band. And so some of the first wallets were our band's, the Birdhouse 4, where we would color in with marker and put it behind a clear window and sell it at our shows.
Wait, you were friends with No Doubt?
Yeah, way back before they were famous.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Did you know Gwen?
I never really, well, I think I met her once maybe, but I was friends with Eric because Eric was an animator. He worked on Ren and Stimpy.
Uh-huh.
And he
I didn't
worked
know
on The
that.
Simpsons. So I was like, I want to be friends with Eric because he's like an artist and I love cartoons. So I'm like, how do you do this? So I go to his house in Anaheim and just be amazed at like how he could draw that way. And so I asked him to draw characters for our band that look like Ren and Stimpy characters, like the kids
That's
on
awesome.
there. Yeah, it's fun. I've always been sort of an art director,
Yeah. Yeah.
If I can't draw it, I'll find a friend who can. Yeah.
So back to your wallet. So did you teach yourself how to use the sewing machine?
Yeah. I think it sat there for like 6 months because I was afraid to thread it. Life is weird like that. You're like, don't do something because it seems like it's really tough.
Yeah.
But eventually I learned how to thread it and I started, I had a purpose now. I'm like, I have this orange vinyl. What am I going to make? So I had a purpose. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to make an outfit for a dance or something. It was like, I had a purpose of a wallet. And I just taught myself, you can only go off the line so much. You can only run off the fabric before you make yourself not so right off the edge of the material, And
yeah, that's so true.
You learn little tricks along the way, Like I learned to get heavier thread and raise the feed dogs, the little things that move the material.
Oh,
go higher so that vinyl could go through there. You just learn little tricks.
God, that's really impressive. My mom has a sewing machine and it just looks so complicated, like all the buttons and stuff.
That's how everything is. Everything looks complicated.
True.
But if you want to do it and love it, it's no reason why you can't not get good at it if you do it all the time.
And so you were working at a newsstand in Huntington Beach at the time and people were coming to you for these custom wallets. What do you remember feeling at that time?
I thought it was cool. It's like, oh, you want a wallet too? People I didn't even know would be like, are you the guy that makes those wallets? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, what do you want on it? And so I'd charge them like $8. And then I'd take 5 of that and go get a whole brand new yard of used vinyl in Santa Ana. There's a place called A1 Foam and Fabric on Main Street. And they have like old vinyl from the 60s that was brand new still, but it was like $5 a yard. So I'm like, let's see, I can make one wallet and then have a whole rest of the yard for other wallets. And then I used to trade the kids at there was a, what's that place? Jamba Juice. I used to trade Jamba Juices for wallets.
Where was a newsstand?
It was right next to Huntington Surf and Sport.
Oh my God. I remember that.
Yeah, it was like it's sort of like an entry to the building there. Yeah. And there was a bakery next to the left called Amy's Bakery, then Huntington Surf and Sport.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And they, as they grew, I think they took over the rest of the building.
Wow. That's such a cool job to do. And then also like creating that's such an awesome start. So how did Julius and Friends come to life?
Well, my grandma made this sock monkey. Sock monkeys, in case people don't know, were made out of the Rockford Red Heel sock. And,
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, it's a camping sock. It was muddled brown and cream colored thread with a red heel and on the toe and a red heel on the. Wait, no, it's a red line on the heel that looks like a monkey's mouth.
Oh,
and then grandmas would take a pair of these socks and cut them up. Even the socks even have the instructions now.
Oh, really?
To show you how to do it. Yeah, I don't have my sock monkey with me, but I drew my monkey sort of loosely on that idea of like, because I love the sock monkey so much. And then from that came other characters where sometimes we would just play around and make new characters that came from sort of like a evolution, So from Julius came Clancy the giraffe.
I loved Clancy. That was one of my favorite characters.
Thank you. Clancy's my favorite character too.
Oh, really?
Or I would get inspiration sometimes, like I was on an airplane coming from Seattle and it was raining and I was worried. So I drew this picture of this worried bear on a napkin going like this. Like in the old silent movies, when they're like this, like, ooh. And when I got home, we redrew him and he became a new character. And then from going to Disneyland, I thought I need a skull and crossbones.
Oh, from Pirates?
Yeah, like when right before you go down the waterfall.
Yeah,
and the guy's all avast there, you scurvy scum. Like he used to say that, right? So I named this guy Scurvy, and because I realized that was what happens when pirates didn't have enough vitamin C. They were just scurvy. So his name is Scurvy.
I remember you had mentioned in another interview that you would go with your mom to Disneyland a lot, and you pulled inspiration from there. Do you mind sharing that story?
Yeah, well, we were lucky because my mom, again, good old mom, she had belonged to the teachers credit union because she worked at a school before, and she got a special discounts back then. They had like union night. Like my dad was a Teamster.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, unions are the way to go.
Yeah,
and so he would get like special family union night where we can go twice a year. We thought we were big shots, because back then you had to buy a ticket book and all that, and you could only go to Disneyland like maybe on your birthday.
You had to buy a ticket book. What is?
Yeah, back then you had to. When you get there, you had to pay to get in. Then you had to buy these books of tickets, and like an e-ticket was like the best ticket. You could ride on like Space Mountain, but like a B ticket, you can go on like the merry-go-round or something. So yeah, it was a big deal to go there twice a year. And I used to look at all the stuff, like the trash cans were all painted, like the churro cart.
Yeah.
Was like painted like Matterhorn style. And I always thought that was cool. They didn't leave anything undone.
Yeah, right.
There's no details missed at Disneyland. So I took that to heart, and I always put a lot of design details into all my accessories and stuff.
Yeah, I remember playing on the Paul Frank website, and there was like the whole like neighborhood and stuff. And I read that you actually pulled inspiration from Huntington Beach for Planned Pines, the Paul Frank's neighborhood. Julius's neighborhood.
Yeah, basically, because where we lived, there was a lot of old fields, right? Because it's like a semi-arid. We brought the grass. Let's just, right? There was no rolling hills of grass and no giant pine trees. Somebody planted all that, I remember just driving thinking, this is all man-made. So I named my community Planned Pines. It's sort of like it's planned. The word planned is not something that should be in your city name. It's sort of disingenuous? Is that the word is? Yeah, right? It's like, it's my sarcasm. Planned Pines.
Yeah. Oh, no way. I never knew that.
Yeah, instead of like rolling pines or majestic pines, it's planned. Some city planners got together and said, okay, we got 5 acres of pine trees we're going to import from Arrowhead, and we're going to put this nice grass, and we're going to have to water it 2 times a day. Waste all these resources.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I knew that Plan Pines was inspired from Huntington Beach back then. I would have bragged to like my cousins who weren't from here.
Well, maybe you could tell them later.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned before, your designs were in movies. I was recently watching 13 Going on 30, and I was like, I had those pajamas. They were in Austin Powers, like celebrities like Christina Aguilera was wearing them. Your designs, you became a pop culture icon. Like, for lack of a better question, what was that experience like?
I'm happy just seeing somebody wearing a t-shirt still.
Yeah.
Or if it's in a movie, that's cool too. I remember going to see Austin Powers and seeing my name at the end of the movie in the thank yous, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. But honestly, I still get excited just when like some little kid's wearing a shirt, and I get all,
Yeah.
I would never tell them, and I like to keep my privacy, but it's just fun to like see that it's enjoyed by people all over the world,
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. I remember like the craze that was around it. Like I needed the bike. It was everywhere. It's so fun.
Yeah.
So now you work as a freelance artist for Paul Frank Industries, and you do international licensing as well. What do those roles entail?
Oh yeah. So my job is, I do all the art style guides for the global licensees. So, and also I'm designing cafe concepts for Dubai, and so I think since the characters mostly came from me, it's still important that I work on them. So I create new situations for Julius and his friends. Different themes like surfing, camping, NASA, going to outer space, Halloween. I just did a gothic
Cool.
style guy where they're all like gothic hairdos and makeup and stuff. And I do like Year of the Dragon's going to come out actually, what's today, the 1st? Yeah, for the Lunar New Year. So hopefully that'll be out in the next few days. So every year it's a different animal, right? So it was Year of the Rabbit last year, Year of the Tiger the year before that, I think. And so I have a lot of fun doing those. So my next project is Year of the Horse.
Oh, a lot of it really cool.
Yeah.
Wait, this cafe though, do you think that you would ever bring one day to California?
I want to. We're going to be celebrating our 30th anniversary next year. So
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Time really flies. And part of that is we want to do a pop-up store. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yes. Where do you think you would do it?
Well, maybe LA.
Okay.
I know that sounds not. I think Orange County. I wish we could do too.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But if you do it in LA, either way, I'm there wherever it is.
Yeah, because got to be honest. When we were younger, we would drive to LA to see shows, and we would go to, like on Melrose to go shopping. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
You didn't think about it back then. It's like, I want cool clothes. Let's go to Long Beach. Let's go to Melrose. Spend a lot of money in one day. So
definitely,
wherever it is. It's a destination.
Would the pop-up be like clothing and the cafe, or just the cafe?
Just no, it'd be accessories and clothing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we're working with a local store, a surf shop in Highland Park. Or is it? Yeah, Highland Park. It's a store called Mowgli Surf, and
cool.
I got them the original templates for the pajamas. So they're developing new Paul Frank pajamas.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Can you share what they kind of look like?
Not yet, but
okay.
It should be out in the spring, which is coming up very soon.
Yeah. How exciting.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
We just work on a lot of cool collaborations here and there too. Like we just had one with a company called Dumb Good. So people could still buy fun stuff like dumbgood.com. You could see the new collection of stuff we just released.
Okay, very cool. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm excited to check it out.
yeah,
So you've done fine art as well. Can you talk a little bit about that?
yeah. When I left the business years ago, I focused on fine art. So I
Uh,
started using my people would invite me to these group art shows, with real artists,
oh,
and
wow.
I'm like, oh wow, I'm not much of a painter, so I would make shadow boxes with stuffed characters in them, and with painted backgrounds, and they started selling, and sometimes they would sell before I even dropped them off of the gallery because people started to collect them because you can only do like a few a year, a lot of work. I don't have an example to show you at the moment because they all sold. But
Oh my God,
um,
congratulations.
thank you. But yeah, there's places like the Corey Helford Gallery in LA, and what else? The Nason Cooper Nason Gallery,
Uh,
where I've even had a few solo art shows.
oh, very cool.
Yeah, it's fun. And then I do private commissions too.
Oh,
And
wow.
and one of my favorites was for Hello Kitty for her 40th anniversary.
Uh,
I did a big submarine with the characters looking through portholes.
oh, that's so
And
cool.
yeah, thank you. And Sanrio bought it for their corporate office. And I even made the propeller on the. Is that what do submarines have? A prop?
Yeah.
Yeah, I made
Oh,
that.
very
I
cool.
got a rotisserie motor.
How creative. Are you having any upcoming shows?
No, I'm mostly busy with making new art for the brand right now.
Okay.
Yes,
Awesome.
I'm stuck behind a computer.
And then you also wrote a book, which we featured in Orange Coast Magazine. What inspired you to do that?
Well, one of my best friends, Chris Amaral from Orange Coast College, my former teacher.
Same. Yeah. That's a class you came into. So cool.
Yeah, right. Yeah, her son, they were on a walk one day, and her son found a flower, and she showed him the "She loves me not" game,
Oh.
and he's all, well, I don't like the way it ends because it ends on "She loves me not" sometimes, and he's like, let's make a different version, So they asked me to help them make characters for a book, and I brought in Parker Jacobs, my favorite artist and friend,
Oh, wow.
who used to work for us, um, and he and I made these characters for this book, and because I don't draw people, so I thought the character's name is Bigsby,
Uh,
and it's about he takes a walk in the woods with his mom, and I just thought, I don't know why I like bears a lot for some reason. Right. So Bigsby Bear and his mom go for a walk. They find different things, and it's a cute book.
oh.
And Trevor, I'm sorry, I didn't mention Trevor. Chris's son Trevor
Uh-huh.
wrote the story, and we did the characters.
Oh, wow. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
we started writing a second book a few weeks ago. We got together, but I can't say what it is yet.
Yeah. Oh, how exciting. Lots of something
Yeah,
to look forward to.
yeah, we're
Um,
working on a book deal right now, so
ooh.
that's
Wow.
exciting.
Congratulations again. That's so much
Thank you.
exciting stuff.
Thank
So are you still hosting workshops or teaching classes?
you. Yeah, I just did one over at Orange County School of the Arts.
Oh, wow.
Over in Santa Ana. We did stenciling and we did screen printing on sweatshirts and T-shirts. It was fun.
Oh, very
So
cool.
the next one, I may be doing a class there on merchandising, like how to display stuff for your pop-up.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
Because
Are,
we used to have stores, and I used to design all of the racks and the
oh,
shelving, and where you pay the cash register. Do you remember at South Coast Plaza we had a store?
yes.
We had a few of them, but that was fun because you got to like play with wood and okay, this cash register goes here, the bike's going to go here, the socks can go here, sunglasses can go on this light up display. That was fun. So I want to teach students how to, even if you don't have a store, how do
Mm.
you make just your little area on your 6-foot table? How do you make that match your brand?
Yeah. Wow. That's such an
Yeah.
interesting class. Are you doing any like community classes? Like,
Um, Not so far, but I'm always open to it.
yeah, that'd be
Um,
really cool.
the lady I worked with on some of those, she's retired, so
Oh,
I need to
yeah.
find. Yeah.
I remember the Huntington Beach Community Art Center class that you had. I think it was making Paul Frank purses.
Oh wow, way back then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We did a fun thing at the Huntington Beach Art Center
Uh-huh.
way back in 2004, I think.
Okay, I think that was, yeah, that might have been it.
Yeah, they let me have a little solo show there, and for the finale, we had a under the tent event. So we rented tents, and we got our sewing contractor in Santa Ana. His guys came on a Saturday, and the kids, we had all the bag parts cut out already, and the kids got to cut out their own characters.
How
And kids are
cute.
fun. They don't need a template. I thought, I better make templates. They don't care. It's like, I'm making an octopus out of, whatever. And then we'd sew them up, and we had some volunteers from Orange Coast, and it was a fun day. And we had a little label that said, where the student signed it and I signed it. And I love times like that. We need to do more community things like that.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
So what you named a few exciting things that you have coming up, but is there anything else that listeners can look forward to?
I'm just excited about, the pajamas we're going to be doing with Mobley Surf, and all the fun new products we're going to make for 2025 for our 30th anniversary.
Me too. I'm very excited for that.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming to the end of our time, but before I let you go, I have 3 final questions for you, and they are called the Thoughtful 3, and they kind of just reflect on your journey. So what did you learn from the challenges that you had to overcome in your career?
To not quit. There's times where I was like, I can't finish this project. I'd rather, I don't want to live anymore. You're just like, it's late, you're just like exhausted. And hopefully you have someone to support a friend that'll say, oh, let me help, but you just keep going, and you live another day, another season, and you're happy about it. And you see somebody wearing or buying what you worked so hard on,
Yeah, I love that. And then what would you tell your younger self knowing what you know now?
I think I would tell myself to learn more about the business side of things, not just focus on the creative so much.
Okay, how come?
Just because you need to think about both things. You can't just like be in La La Land, right? You have to kind of know a lot of things about different things.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then lastly, if our listeners can walk away with one thing from this conversation, what would you want it to be?
One thing is, I know it might sound corny, but if you dream stuff and you have an imagination and you follow that dream, I don't know, how could you not succeed at it if you really want to do it?
Definitely. Right? Well said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. This has been like a dream come true for me. So
thanks, Chelsea. I appreciate the opportunity getting to share my story.
Amazing.
Your viewers and your readers too.
Yes. Yes. Well, I will be first in line, as I'm sure many of us will be, for your pop-up. So
okay. Thanks a lot.
Bye.